one here too. A great leader as well. And like he said, we've gone back a ways. And same thing, like I'm always trying to take little bits from him as well. Always trying to learn from anybody that I come across. I'm always trying to pick up on different things and utilize them. And at the end of the day, success leaves clues. Success leaves clues, right? When you see some of the best people in the region or city or state or country doing things well, take notes, right? They're leaving clues for you on how you can proceed, how you can get better, how you can get to that level. So you got a good one here. And I really appreciate him giving me the opportunity to impact a group of young guys today. So appreciate it, Donnie. Real quick, just a little bit about myself. I grew up in Walla Walla, Washington. Small town Walla Walla is a little different nowadays than it was when I was growing up there. Now you guys know it as like the wineries and all that. There was a couple there when I was growing up there, but it was a small town, country town, and everybody played sports. Played a lot of sports growing up. Played football, basketball, baseball in high school. Played a ton of soccer when I was younger too. Track and field, all sorts of stuff. And that was just part of the culture of Walla Walla. Went to a small Catholic school there called DeSales High School. Incredible athletics there. We went to 2 state championships in football, won 4 state championships in baseball while I was there. And our basketball team went to the state tournament twice as well. So some really good athletics. Football was my sport. I played in college. I got the opportunity to earn a scholarship to play quarterback at the University of Idaho. And throughout my time there, things didn't quite work as I was hoping as a quarterback. And I was kind of screwing around before practice one day, punting the ball, just kind of having fun, like I did in high school, punting the ball, and I was kicking the heck out of it. And the coaches saw me punting, and they're like, wow, okay, do that again. And I did it again. And I'm like, what? Do that again. And I did it again. And the next thing I knew, I was in the punt period during football practice, and I was the punter. And then next thing I knew, I was the starting punter on our team, and never looked back. So just ended up sticking with the punting thing. I had a great head coach during that time. His name was Dennis Erickson. You probably know who that is. Dads probably know who that is. But Dennis Erickson won a couple national championships at Miami, at Oregon State, coached in the NFL as a head coach, and then came back to a school that he actually started at University of Idaho when I was there, and told me, hey, you got the potential to be an NFL punter if you really put your mind to it. And so that's what I did. So got the opportunity to punt for Idaho, and then with his guidance, ended up being able to play in the NFL as well. Played for 6 years in the NFL, mostly with the New York Jets, and had an amazing experience there, and really started to learn a lot more about what I wanted to do when I was done playing sports, because it all comes to an end eventually, right? And then you got to find out what you're going to do next in life. And during that time, I really fell in love with the process of taking care of my body, taking care of my mind, and spiritual side as well, and really fell in love with that process of this holistic athlete. So got into performance training after that, and focused much more on the physical development side at first, and then been getting much more into the psychological side now, from a mental skills standpoint, a cohesion standpoint for our teams, and from a leadership standpoint with our teams as well. And then so after I got done playing, that's when Donnie and I ran into each other, and we started working together more in the private sector, like you guys have here. Worked with each other for 3 or 4 years, and then started feeling that itch to get back into organized teams. Started messing around with some of the high schools in the area, Whitworth a little bit, and then it was like, all right, it's time to make this jump, and went out to Eastern Washington, started as a graduate assistant out there, Just needed to get my degree since I didn't have a degree in the field. I did civil engineering in college, which didn't use that at all. But yeah, just decided like, okay, I got to jump in with this thing. I got to get a degree. So I went out and got a degree from Eastern. And before I knew it, there was a full-time job available, and I got that. And then before I knew it, there was a director position of strength conditioning out there, and I got that. And then now here I am as the director of strength conditioning out at Eastern. I'm training our basketball teams primarily, so kind of made a little bit of a switch there. I trained our football team for a year and a half and figured out like my niche is much more like building relationships and smaller team environments, so started working with basketball much more out at Eastern, and that's what I'm doing now. And got this great opportunity to speak with you guys and teach you guys a little bit more about leadership tonight. You guys in?
Yep.
Okay. First of all, I just gave you guys my background. I probably should have cut that down a little bit smaller, a little bit quicker, but you guys need to be able to do that kind of thing too, right? And I'm going to talk about several different characteristics and things that a leader needs to have, and being able to relate with people, tell your story, probably a little quicker than I did, is something that's going to be really important. So what I want you guys to do right now is find somebody in this room that you know very little about and go tell them your little pitch, your little, here's who I am, and this is how I can help you. To be a leader, to be a captain on a team, you got to be able to relate. You got to be able to tell people like, hey, I know what I'm doing, right? And it's got to be quick and it's got to be impactful. So find almost a stranger. I don't know, maybe you guys all know each other already, but find somebody in the room and give them, I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes here. Make an impact on them. Tell them who you are. Nice. Get some strangers. Perfect.
No, I'm from I just go to school. You go to school at GC? Yeah, I did 2 years at the college. Yeah, I did overseas. Yeah, dude. And then they're yeah.
I'm going to try and do a few of these like little breakout, like just activities. It kind of breaks it up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly Reese, it's at Summit Church. It's the Helping Boys to Live.
Oh, yeah?
It talks about breaks into the male brain and like how like living into your divorce stuff like
Yeah.
gets it's super interesting.
So what do you say? Just generally, yeah, just trying to figure out, yeah. Okay. I'd say
Who's the biggest stud in the group here?
go to your
UNLV, the kid in the sweatshirt was going to go to class.
Is the baseball kid here, do you know?
Yeah.
Introduce yourself to your professor, just kind of keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Freshman and eighth grader.
Keep coming in, and they'll recognize you eventually.
Nice.
And then actually be a baseball player too.
You know, Axton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I recognize him, okay. I think I've met him, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say that's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I kind of just go in there to play baseball. Yeah, exactly. So I'd say go in to your teachers all the time.
Okay. Good. So I think Donnie kind of touched on it there too, but like there's different ways to lead, but at the end of the day, like to be a good leader, you have to practice it, right? And that's what I wanted you guys to do right there, is just feel it, just practice it, get some reps, right? Get some cuts, get some shots, right? Get some reps of coaching, right? Or not coaching, leading, being a captain on your team. So that's what this is about, right? This is Captain's Club, is that what we're calling it, Donnie?
Yep.
So you guys are all captains on your teams? Kind of, yeah? Right? I mean, what's a captain do?
Leads by his actions.
Leads by his actions, okay, nice. What's the purpose? Why do the coaches say, hey, we need captains. These are our captains, or the players vote on, like, these are our captains. Why do the coaches want captains on their team? You ever thought about that, right? It's kind of...
They want like players that are on the floor or on the field to be able to be a leader, because coaches can't always be out there telling people what to do.
Nice. Yes, definitely. So what he just said right there is the actual like textbook term is peer leadership. Okay, because you guys already have leaders, right? Your teams have leaders. You got coaches, right? Those are leaders. But what's really important, and coaches know this, is that there is leadership within the team. Okay? And that's called peer leadership. Okay? There's that leadership that's in there. It's at that level of the players on the team. And it's extremely important. Extremely important. Teams with good peer leadership, the players have more fun, right? Why do we play sports? To have some fun, right? So when there's good leadership, there's good peer leadership on teams, they're having more fun. Okay, they have more cohesion. They have more task cohesion, like they're together going after goals. There's more social cohesion, so like they're getting along better, right? And they win more games. They win more games. Okay, they have more fun. They're together, they feel more together. They win more games. And there's this like big jump in emotional control throughout the team. So like sports, it's perfectly set up to have all these ups and downs, right? These lulls and these highs. We have to have emotional control on teams too, to make sure that we get through those things so that we can end up on top. Right? So peer leadership is extremely important on your teams if you guys want to have success. Peer leadership. But what is leadership? How can we define leadership? What do you guys think?
Kind of what he said about like leading by example is your actions can influence other people's.
You said the word right there that I'm looking for. Influence. Influence. Okay, your coaches decided to pick captains for their team so that you can influence the rest of the guys on your team. So you can influence them, right? The coaches are going to set out these goals, like these are what we're trying to achieve this year. And he's hoping that you guys are going to influence the rest of your teammates to go achieve those goals. That's what leadership is. It's influence. Simple as that. Influence. How are we going to influence our teammates? So that's what I really want to talk to you guys about today, is how you can better influence your teammates so you guys can go achieve those goals. Okay? And what I'm going to teach you guys today, I'm going to try and teach it quick. I could go on for days on this stuff. Okay? But this is a system of leadership that I learned from Mike Nilsson. And Donnie and I know Mike Nilsson really well. We worked for him for a few years, and he taught us this system so that we could become better leaders. We were part of a team. Donnie and I were a team together of trainers at this facility, and he was helping us become better leaders, peer leaders, right? Because he was also our leader, but we were at this other level, and he was trying to teach us this level of these levels of leadership. So what I'm going to teach you guys today is these 3 levels of leadership. Okay? Level 1. And these levels are like video games, right? Like where you can't go to level 2 until you've passed level 1. Okay, and you definitely can't go to level 3 until you've passed level 1 and level 2. Okay, so this is like the foundation. This is like, you gotta get this stuff right, otherwise all this other cool stuff that I'm gonna teach you later doesn't work. You have to have this level 1 of leadership first. Okay, and that is synergy. Synergy. What does that mean? What's synergy? Yeah, nice. Like that bond, right? Working together, right? If you like break down this word, like the Latin terms, I don't know, the sin, that first part is together, and that last part of the word is similar to energy, right? You guys heard that one. Okay, it's like this energy working together, that cohesion, that team working together. Okay, and really what it ends up, in layman's terms, it's relationships. You guys got to know your teammates. If you're going to be a captain, you're going to influence them, you need to have good relationships with them. You need to know them, right? They need to know you. That's why, like that little exercise that we did right there at the beginning, you guys got to know your teammates. If they're truly going to be influenced by you, if you're going to have that, your best chance at influencing them, you got to know them. There's got to be these relationships, this base foundation of relationships. So that's going to be a challenge for you guys, is to go out and get to know all these kids, all these other teammates. I guess they're not kids to you, they're kids to me, but all your teammates on this level, like a relationship level, like they know you, right? Level 2. This is when we start really talking about leading by example. And the name of this is sweat. Okay, because we got to put in the sweat. We got to lead by example. Okay, if we start really putting in the work, we're going out, staying late after practice, getting extra swings, right? If we're showing up early, if we are snacking in between games, showing that nutrition's important, right? We're leading by example. We're showing everybody this is how we do it here. This is how we're going to get to those goals that we're after, right? That's sweat. That's that second level. And I hear this so much, like, oh, I lead by example. If you don't have level 1 first, it doesn't matter. People aren't going to be looking to you as an example. There was a kid on our football team out at Eastern a couple years ago, and this guy was relentless. Like, he was always in the weight room, like always. He was in there like before practice, after practice, before lifts, after lifts. He did everything he could to get his body right. He was incredible when it came to leading by example. He was after practice late, before practice early. Great effort during practice. Always pushing himself. But he was a transfer kid, came in from University of Washington, kind of had this aura about him, like I'm a little better than you are. Didn't really bother to go out and really get to know his teammates. When he was in the weight room getting extra work, other guys would kind of walk in like, maybe I'll come back later and get my work in. When he was out there after practice, working on his hands around the bag, like, maybe I'll wait until tomorrow to get my extra work in. He didn't have those relationships. He didn't have that foundation of leadership. He was doing all the right things from an example standpoint, but nobody knew that he cared. Nobody knew that he was doing it for the team and that he wanted to help them too, because he didn't bother to get to know anybody. So we have to have those relationships. We have to build that foundation. Okay? And once we do all this, right, once we've got this foundation and then we've moved on to leading by example, that's when we're ready to move on to level 3. Okay, and level 3 is serve. Building a foundation, right? Energy, synergy, putting in the work. Like these things, really, like, they're helping you. At the end of the day, like, you build relationships with people, that's going to build strength within yourself too, right? You're bringing good energy to your team. Like, you're going to play better when you have high energy, right? You put in all this work, you're putting in all the reps, you're going to get better, you're going to get better, you're going to get better. You're getting yourself better with these two. Now it's time to serve your teammates. So these ones are really about you, but when you get down to here, at the end of the day, like, really it's about your teammates. What are you going to do to help them? What are you going to do to make them better? Right? How many of you guys have goals of playing at the next level? College, professional? Yep. Think about that. Like, you have to be helping your teammates too. If you can't do it all by yourself, right? Are you going to get noticed if you're like on the, maybe you will, but are you going to get noticed as much as if your team's at the bottom of your conference? Probably not as much, right? Like, you got to build up your teammates too. It's going to help you in the long run as well. But it's also going to help you guys all achieve your goals at the end of this thing too, right? That team goal too. So those are your 3 levels of leadership. Got to build that foundation. Got to put in the work, lead by example. And then once you've done that, that's when you start really leading and serving. Does that make sense? Let's get into some examples here. Get into each one of these levels just a little bit deeper and give you guys some things that can really, you can really use day to day. Okay? Each one of these levels has a bunch of other characteristics as well. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go through some of those other characteristics. Okay, one of the characteristics for synergy is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. There was a study done, okay, on all of the NBA teams. All 30 teams in the preseason. It was like 230-something players. Okay, they did this study, and they wanted to see how much enthusiasm impacted their performance. Okay, so like, what can we track? What can we look at? What can we try to track and tally up that could relate to enthusiasm? And what they wanted to count was positive touches. Okay, so any kind of high five, pat on the back, knuckles, rub on the head, whatever. Any kind of positive touch, they counted all of them. Every single one throughout the entire preseason. Okay? And what they found was the team that had the most positive touches throughout the entire preseason was the most successful team during that preseason. They won the most preseason games. Okay, well, that's preseason, right? Like, that's just preseason. I don't know. Maybe that's just a fluke. Okay? But then they also saw this other crazy statistic. Not only did that team end up having the most success during the preseason, but all of the statistics like shooting percentage, points, rebounds, assists, steals, each one of those categories had somebody in the top 10 of personal positive touches, like the most positive touches each player had. So, the team with the most positive touches had the most success, and the players with the most positive touches had the most success? Enthusiasm. Positive touches. Okay, so what I need you guys to understand and believe is that enthusiasm is contagious, right? Those players were going out there and they were trying to get all these positive touches to help their team. Their energy was contagious. It was spreading to their teammates, and it helped their teams. Okay, so I need you to understand that enthusiasm, if you want your team to have enthusiasm, if you want your team to have energy, you got to bring it. You guys are the captains, right? You guys have to bring that enthusiasm. Got to believe it. And then one of the easiest things you can do, stick out a hand. Stick out a hand, right? Give somebody a high five. That's one of the coolest things that we've done in the weight room at Eastern is like, if you walk in that room, you'll see a ton of positive touches. Every time somebody jogs past each other, they got a handout. Whether it's a coach or a teammate or somebody from an opposite team, a different team, they're sticking a hand out. And there's enthusiasm, there's energy in the room. Oh yeah, there's more people in here than just me. Oh yeah, look, he's getting his work in too. It spreads, it's contagious. Okay, so that's what I want you guys to think and understand and believe about enthusiasm. And then go out and do it. Think about how many opportunities you guys have day to day to do that. Running around the weight room, right? Going into the dugout, out of the dugout. Every time you come off the court, like there's so many opportunities. Just stick a hand out, man. It's quick, but it spreads that energy and that enthusiasm. Okay? So that's something that you guys can do right away is just start putting a hand out. Especially for some of you upperclassmen, how much is that going to mean to a little freshman that's coming through as well? Damn. You guys are probably some of the best players on your team, right? He just stuck his hand out to me. He knows that I'm here. That means a lot to them, right? So that's one thing you guys can do right away. Stick a hand out. We also need to have something to say too, right? Sometimes we're not within arm's reach. We all need to have like this little saying that you can go to that's going to lift the energy on your team. For me, it's let's go. Like everybody knows when I'm in the weight room, I say that so much. But they feel it. They know that that's my go-to. Like when I need to lift the energy in the room, it's let's go. What's yours? Think about it. What do you want to go to? I'll tell you a quick little story. And this is what our men's basketball team uses out at Eastern. Okay, their little saying is WAD up. Okay, and WAD is WWAD. WWAD. What would Andrew do? Andrew is a guy named Andrew Sorensen. And Andrew Sorensen was a basketball player at Gonzaga back in like the early 90s. And he was a walk-on. Okay, he came on to Gonzaga, just wanted to be part of the crew. And his first 3 years there, he didn't touch the court one time. Okay, practiced his ass off, did great in practice, but never got any playing time his first 3 years. Okay, but he was that kind of guy that brought enthusiasm. Like he was that kind of guy, like the team shows up for their 6 o'clock workouts and hoods on, they got the earbuds in, they're tying their shoes. Andrew was that kind of guy that was running around the room, pulling people's hoods off, pulling out their earbuds, joking around, running around. Before you knew it, everybody was up laughing, having a good time. He had this energy, this enthusiasm about him. Well, he finished up his 3rd year, didn't get any playing time in those 3 years. Going into his 4th year, he's like, all right, like, I think it's time to hang up the shoes and just focus on my studies, graduate and go get a job. Mark Few said, no, you're not leaving this team. We need you here. we need you so bad that I'm going to give you a full ride scholarship. Andrew Sorensen got a full ride scholarship to play for the Gonzaga Bulldogs without ever touching the floor his first 3 years. Coach Few, he's a pretty good coach, yeah? Kind of knows his stuff, right? He understands how important enthusiasm is to a team. It's pretty important. Coach Few says it's important. Believe me, it's important, right? Important enough to give him a full ride scholarship, just for energy's sake. Yeah, he ended up getting a few minutes that year, but his energy is why he was there. Be that energy for your team. It's that important. So, our men's basketball team at Eastern, maybe you'll go to some basketball games, you might hear them say, "Wad up," like before some games. When guys are, it's middle of the season, just played a game on Thursday, got another one Saturday afternoon, and they're dragging a little bit, you'll hear them during warm-ups. "Wad up. Let's go. Let's get it. We got to turn it up." So what are you going to say to your team? I want you guys to turn maybe a different person in the room, and I want you guys to kind of go back and forth and figure out, like, hey, I think it's going to be this. Okay, just go back and forth. Figure it out. What do you guys want to do? What's going to be your saying for you and for your team? Go ahead. Break it up. Home, babe. I like that one.
Oh, that turned me up. Our junior year. This year, bro, if you want to rip like you bang every time.
What do you got?
I go to some baby. I'm not playing anymore.
You're not playing anymore?
Okay. I've been working out here this summer. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go to Grand Canyon. So.
Okay.
Yeah, down in Phoenix.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're still doing some coaching?
Yeah. I'm gonna
And help train?
Yeah, help train Donnie this summer. I think
Okay.
they're planning on sending me out to Medical Lake, so
Nice.
train those kids out there. So
Yeah.
it'll be fun.
So Hum Babe was what you got for all these kids, okay?
Babe was the go-to on the baseball.
Well, for sure, yeah. You hear that one all the time. Yeah.
I like let's go.
Yeah.
Big ol' let's go. I think that gets some energy
Yeah,
pumping.
definitely.
From my experience.
Nice. Definitely. Have that in that back pocket, man. Like when because you're going to have some days in the summer out there where you're going to have to lead with some enthusiasm, right? So have those, maybe a couple different go-tos that you can say as you're running around the room and crazy, right?
Yeah, that's what.
Good.
I like this because this is kind of like my introduction to being a personal trainer. So it's I've learned to apply these things with the kids you're working with, so they can.
Oh yeah,
build
it
those
works as a
personal
coach too, for
relationships.
sure.
Build
Definitely.
a personal relationship before you can start leading by example, and then then they'll follow you at that level.
Right.
So
I like it. Yeah.
it'll apply.
Yeah. Good. Yep. Okay. What do we got? What are some examples? What we got? What you got? Let's ride. Nice. The old Russell Wilson. Let's ride. Nice. What else? Oh yeah. Let's get it. I like it. Nice. Good. Okay, so just have that saying, whatever it is, doesn't really matter that much, honestly, as long as everybody else knows that you're bringing energy. And if you're a captain on the team, people are going to be looking up to you, right? So have that saying, have something in your back pocket that you know you can pull out when you need some energy in the room. Another one of those characteristics is gratitude. Gratitude. Just being thankful, right? Having that aura about you that you're happy. Like you got a great situation right in front of you here. You're thankful that you got this team. You're thankful that you got all this gear, right? You're thankful that you have these coaches that are pushing you guys, that picked you to be a captain. We have so many reasons to be thankful, right? To be grateful. That's just a characteristic of a person that people want to follow. People want to be influenced by somebody that has a great sense of gratitude. Okay? I'm not going to go into all of these pillars because we don't have enough time, but that one right there, that's one that can be extremely impactful for not only your teammates, but for you yourself. Okay? Your sense of gratitude, it creates your reality. Like, it creates your vision, like how you see things. It creates your reality. Your sense of gratitude creates your reality. Yeah.
One that I see with gratitude, that the people that are really good at it typically are the more successful slash I know are leaders. People that say bye, or like before they're done with their workout, and they make an effort to go like, hey, good job, see, I'm out of here, good job, like kind of check in before they leave. I'd put that in the same category as gratitude.
For sure.
Category as gratitude, where like instead of okay, I'm done, I'm out, they make sure that they check in with like, maybe you don't go shake everyone's hand, say see you later, but they make an effort to say, hey, I'm out of here, good job, later. Like that, for me, in here, the people that take 2 seconds just to say bye instead of just bolt out, I put that in that same category. And I think that the guys I think of that do that do have really good relationships with people, do have really good charisma with the people in here. It feels good knowing, Luca walked out. Before he walked out, he came and dapped me up and said, see you later. You know what I mean? So that little one right there is for me big.
How many of you guys go and thank your coach after every practice? Good. That's awesome. Okay? And all of your teammates are going to see that, right? They're going to see that you're thankful for those guys that are taking time away from their family, probably not getting paid much at all, if anything, for you guys and for your team, right? Go thank them. Thank your equipment managers, guys that are washing your laundry. Okay? Thank those parents that are helping cook team meals. Say thank you. As much as you can, say thank you. I love that too, Donnie, like saying goodbye to guys. Like, what if you went up to some of your guys after, like, hey, man, appreciate you guys. Good work today. Dude, you put it out on the line. Appreciate you, man. Thanking your teammates too, right? As you're saying goodbye, as you're dabbing them up. It goes a long ways, right? That sense of gratitude is a characteristic of a leader, of somebody that people want to be influenced by and want to follow, okay? Next one for synergy. Loyalty. Loyalty. If you want the people on your team to follow you, you want to be able to influence them, they have to be loyal to you, right? Yeah, like, sure, when things are easy, yeah, I'll be just like my captain. I'll follow him, do what he asks. What about when things get tough? When a ref makes a terrible call? When things aren't going your way, right? You're down by 10 runs, I don't know, whatever. When things aren't going as planned, are they going to follow you then? Are they truly loyal to you? Do you really have influence over them when things aren't going well? Or just when things are cool, when things are nice and easy? Right? They have to be loyal to you. They have to be willing to do what you're asking of them when things are tough. They have to have a sense of loyalty to you. And what I need you guys to understand about loyalty is that loyalty is only earned when it's given. Loyalty is only earned when it's given. You can't expect your teammates to be loyal to you unless you're loyal to them. How can we show our loyalty to our teammates? There's plenty of things, okay? We've talked about positive touches, right? I'm here for you. I'm not here just for me. I'm here for you. Giving out positive touches, When somebody comes out of the game, we stand up. We stand up for them. Right? You'll notice that on our men's basketball team, women's basketball team too. When anybody comes out of the game, whether it's just because they're tired and it's time for a rotation, or because they just had 2 turnovers, or because they just airballed a shot, or they just gave up 2 threes, our team stands up for them, no matter what. They stand up for them. Whether we're up by 15 or down by 15, we stand up for our teammates. We stand up for them. You guys can stand up for your teammates. In kind of a little bit more of a metaphor, we can stand up for people when they're getting gossiped about, when they're getting talked shit about. Think about this. Okay? If you're talking bad about some of your teammates with some of your other teammates, do they think, or do they know that when you're over here talking to these guys, that you're not talking bad about them? No. You're one of those types of guys that just talks bad about people when they're not around. That's what they're going to believe about you. So as a captain, we can't be talking bad about anybody. We can't be talking bad about anybody, whether it's coaches, teammates. We can't be doing that. We have to show our loyalty to our teammates by standing up for the guys that are getting talked shit about when they're not there. Stand up for them. Show your loyalty to all your teammates by standing up for them. Physically, like literally, and metaphorically, when they're not there to stand up for themselves. Okay? So, and I kind of mix up these characteristics every once in a while, but these are kind of my go-tos right here for level 1. Enthusiasm, gratitude, and loyalty. You guys ready to move on to level 2? Sweat? Let's talk about some of those pillars, okay? Some of those characteristics. Okay, first one. Mindset. Mindset. If you are going to put in all this work and you're going to lead by example, you're going to put in the sweat, you better have a growth mindset. What's a growth mindset?
Always willing to get better.
Nice. Always willing to get better. Always trying to get better. You're trying to get better because you believe that any characteristic, any ability that you have, whether it's basketball or it's math or it's communication or relationships, that any ability that you have, you can get better at it. That's a growth mindset. You believe that any ability, you can get better at it if you put in work in it. How many of you guys think like, oh no, I'm just not good at math? How many of you guys think like, I'm just not fast, I'm a slow guy? How many of you guys think like, oh man, I just get like choked up in the moment, like I can't communicate very well? How many of you guys think some of those things about yourself? Or have something else that you know, like that's my weakness, man. Like I'm not very good at that. That's not me. I was just born that way. Or sometimes on the other end, man, I was just born fast. I don't need to put in this work. Donnie, get the sleds away. I don't need it. I was born fast. Oh, I don't know. I'm just really good at reading. I'm really good at writing. All these different things we can be good or bad at. What is your belief about those abilities? Somebody with a growth mindset believes that they can get better. They believe that they can get better at anything if they put effort into it. Somebody with a growth mindset, how do you think they're going to react when a coach comes up to them and gives them some honest feedback, some coaching? How are they going to react? They're going to work on it? Yep. They're going to embrace it? Yeah? Some of the people with the best growth mindset that I've been around actually search it out. Like I'm a strength coach, right? So like I'm running around the room trying to coach people up. People with a great growth mindset are like, hey, coach, come watch this set. How's my technique? Like searching it out. They want feedback. They want help so that they can get better. They have that growth mindset. What's the opposite of a growth mindset?
Fixed mindset.
A fixed mindset. Someone with a fixed mindset has some of those beliefs. I was just born fast. I was just born slow. I was just born good at math. They're like, my dad's not good at math, so I'm born bad at math. That's a fixed mindset. Okay, how do you think somebody with a fixed mindset reacts when somebody calls them out on something and really is coaching them, gives them feedback that maybe they don't want to hear at the time?
Shut down.
They take it like as insults, right? They take it personal because they don't believe they can actually get better. They think that that's their ability that they have, so they better protect it and say, no, I'm good. No, I don't need that. As leaders, as captains on your team, you have to have that growth mindset. Have to have that growth mindset, especially if you're going to be putting in all this work and leading by example, right? One of the best level 2 leaders that I've been around that definitely had a growth mindset is Tim Tebow. You guys know who Tim Tebow is? Okay, quarterback, right? He was Heisman Trophy winner at the University of Florida. He played for the Jets while I was there in New York. And his locker was like 2 lockers down from mine. And he got traded. Actually, I guess he didn't get traded. He was a free agent at the time. The Jets signed him. He comes in, and he's brand new to our team. He's this super famous person, right? Heisman Trophy winner, been playing for the Broncos for several years, just super high-profile guy. He comes into our locker room, and I'm just this lowly punter, right? But he comes up, introduces himself. Hey, what's up, man? My name's Tim. Like I didn't already freaking know who you are, right? And he's like, hey, man, like, where are you from? He starts asking me these questions, like just trying to get to know me, right? How'd you end up here? Where'd you go to school? Tell me about your family. Like, what are your beliefs? He was a super Christian guy, right? So he was always trying to dig a little bit deeper spiritually too. He's trying to get to know me. First day, trying to get to know me. And it wasn't just me. Like, he was trying to get to know everybody in the room. Everybody. He knew that this was really important. He knew you had to have relationships. And he was relentless. Like literally first guy out, last guy in, always putting in extra work. He was a guy that was super conscious. Like when we went to the team cafeteria, like he was always making the right choices. They didn't have a lot of bad choices there, but like he was super conscious about what he was putting into his body. Was always well rested, always making sure he was getting his 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Had that growth mindset. He was an incredible level 2 leader. Incredible. And he definitely worked towards serve too. Like he was definitely working towards level 3, but he was incredible level 2. Put in the work. Had a growth mindset. Okay, a couple other things here when it comes to sweat. Emotional control. Okay, we have to have the ability to stay positive in the moments. That when things aren't going right, we have this ability to stay in control of our emotions. Right? The thing that I need you guys to understand is that it's a choice. It's a choice to fly off the handle when the ref or the umpire makes a bad call, or it's a choice to control our emotions. Right? There's going to be things that don't go the way you want them to go. Right? But as a leader on your team, as a captain on your team, you have to have an emotional control to stay level and control yourself and keep your team in the right state of mind, right? If the captain, the guy that everybody's looking up to, is flying off the handle, what are they going to do? Same thing. They need to have that leadership from you guys, that emotional control. Right? Does that make sense? I don't got a lot of time left here, so I'm going to skip down here to level 3. Okay, serve. A couple of these pillars that I want to touch on today. First one is accountability. Okay, accountability. Are we all human in this room? We all make mistakes, right? We all need help. We all need help. We can't do it on our own. Okay, there's 3 different levels of accountability too, right? There's your coach that's trying to help keep everybody accountable. There's this like individual accountability, right? You're trying to keep yourself accountable. And then there's this in between, there's this team accountability. Teammates, captains, keeping the team accountable. There's all these 3 different levels of accountability. We need to have all 3. We have to be willing to help keep our team accountable when coach isn't watching, right? When that one person that everybody has to be accountable to because they got a little bit more power than some of the captains in the team, right? When he's not watching, when his back's turned, or maybe it's not even on the field or the court and it's out on the town. We have to be able to keep everybody accountable. We have to be there to help keep people accountable. And we're human too, right? We need to be kept accountable as well. We have to be willing to accept that. Accept accountability when it's needed, because we're human as well. Everybody needs help. So we have to be able to help keep our team accountable. One of the things I like to say from an accountability standpoint is you're better than that. You're better than that. When you see somebody that's not living up to your team standard, you're better than that. We're better than that. We're in this together, and you're better than that. You have this vision of what you're trying to accomplish. We have to have the behaviors that point to that. You're better than that. Accountability is extremely important. This is like next level, right? Like this is tough stuff. This is hard to do, huh? Especially out on the town or when you're not on the court. Helping keep other people accountable to what you guys are trying to accomplish is tough. So you better have this. You better have these relationships, right? You better be leading by example and doing the things that you're asking your teammates to do and more, right? That's why this type of stuff is level 3. Helping keep other people accountable is tough. Encouragement. We have to be building our teammates up. We have to be talking positive. I'm going to throw some crazy statistics at you guys right now, okay? And it's around negativity. Negative thoughts. Okay, if you have, how many thoughts in a day do you guys have? Do you guys know? How many thoughts go through your head? It's like 10 to 12,000 thoughts in a day. When you have a negative thought, a thought that's inherently negative, it's 4 to 7 times more likely that that thought is going to become reality than if it's a positive thought. If you have a positive thought versus a negative thought, these are the statistics. But here's an even crazier statistic. If you say something negative, if you actually speak that negative thought, it's another 10 times more likely that it's going to become reality, that it's actually going to come to fruition. So that's 40 to 70 times more likely that what you just said is going to happen. So, it's extremely important as leaders on your team, as captains on your team, that you're not saying the stupid shit that's going through your head. Okay? You can't say those negative things. You can't. Because it's 40 to 70 times more likely that it's going to happen. We all have negative thoughts, right? We got over 10,000 thoughts going through our head. The average person, 80% of those are negative. But what's extremely important is that you guys do not verbalize those negative thoughts. Okay, and we can work on mindfulness and positive self-talk and like all these other mental skills. But one thing you can do right now is stop saying negative shit. Don't do it. Don't say the negative stuff. Okay, there's an extremely successful sports psychologist that has worked with some of the best teams in the world, in the country. Okay, Georgia football, Alabama football, okay, like UCLA basketball, like the list goes on and on, all the NBA teams, NFL teams. And this is one of the most important things that he says that he tells his teams. Stop saying the negative stuff. Just stop saying it. Stop verbalizing your negative thoughts. So a lot of those teams went on to win national championships, like some of the best teams in history, because they just don't verbalize the negative stuff that's going through their head. And again, like there's lots of things we can do, like build these skills of positive thinking, all those things, but if you just don't say the negative stuff, you're going to be way better off. Way better off. Okay. I've already gone for an hour, but I want to leave you guys with just one more thing here too, okay? I want to tell you guys a story, okay? There's this young high school kid, okay? He was, and this is a true story. He's a junior in high school, and he comes from this pretty low economic status family, didn't have a lot of money, was not a great student, kind of hung around with a lot of the wrong crowd, okay? And his mom is just begging him, like, please, just, like, I want you to get into college, like, please, like, just take this SAT, okay? And this is a long time ago. This is, like, way before my time, where SATs were 1,600 total points. 800 math, 800 English, okay? And just take this SAT, okay? Hopefully you can do good and we can get you into college. And he's like, whatever, Mom, like, I'm not going to college. I'm not smart, all this. So he takes this SAT, okay? And like I said, it's out of 1,600. He gets this score back a couple weeks later, and he scored a 1480 out of 1,600. And I know you guys aren't part of that era, but 1480 is incredible. Okay, I got like a 1210 and I was like ecstatic. He got a 1480. Okay, he got that score and he's like, holy crap. He starts going to class. He starts putting in more work and more effort in class. The teachers see that, they start helping him. He starts passing his classes. He stops hanging around all the dudes that are skipping class, smoking dope in the bathrooms. Okay? He ends up graduating high school, goes to a junior college, graduates from that junior college, goes to a four-year school, ends up then going to an Ivy League school for his master's in business, And then he's retired at this point, this extremely wealthy magazine entrepreneur that has this like generational wealth now for his family. So what's the point of this true story? That all he needed was this 1480 SAT to turn into this extremely wealthy, successful person? What's the point? Okay, he says, no, I didn't turn into that successful person when I got that 1480. I turned into that successful entrepreneur when I started acting like that 1480. When I started behaving like a 1480. What changed was not that he got smart all of a sudden. What changed is that he started acting like he was smart. He started acting like he was going to be successful. His behaviors turned him into who he was. He didn't become just smart like this, right? His behaviors got him there. Your behaviors are way before your success. If you guys have these goals that you say you have, it's not going to happen with the snap of a finger. It's going to be your behaviors that get you there. I told that story to our men's basketball team at the beginning of this year. It's going to be your behaviors. They had the goal of becoming the Big Sky champion, right? You got to behave like it day to day, that you are a Big Sky championship team. You guys are going to be captains of your team. You have these goals, I'm sure, of winning conference, winning your league. You guys have to have those behaviors. If you want to be this captain, this leader, it's your behaviors. It's your day to day. Go out and be those behaviors. Go out and be these behaviors. That's what's going to get you to your success. Okay? That's all I got for you guys tonight.
Got a question.
Yeah.
What's something we can do tomorrow to start implementing level 1?
Easy. Stick a hand out. Use your saying. Let's go. Positive touches. Stand up for your teammates. Go introduce yourself to somebody. Go thank them for coming to practice today. Be that positive energy. There's a lot of things. But I would just start with sticking a hand out. That's the simple, easy thing that everybody can do. Go get some positive touches. Start from there and just keep building. Any other questions from you guys? Appreciate you guys having me tonight. Thanks for having me.